By the time Amir discovered what was growing in his field, it was already too late. Or was it? In a village where everyone knew everyone's secrets, there was one mystery no one could solve. Why did Amir, the most talented young man in the entire region, on the only barren field for miles? At 25 years old, Amir possessed something rare. While other farmers struggled with tough soil and unpredictable weather, Amir's land was a gift from nature itself. Rich, dark earth that practically begged to give life. Yet season after season, it lay empty. One day, Amir would say to anyone who asked, "My field will shine so golden that travelers will stop just to stare. I'll be the richest farmer this village has ever seen." His friends believed him. His neighbors admired his vision. But there was something they whispered about when he wasn't listening. Amir's tomorrow never comes. The evening Amir's uncle arrived, the air felt different, heavy with something unspoken. The old man stood at the edge of Amir's field, silent for so long that Amir began to feel uncomfortable. Finally, his uncle spoke, but not the words Amir expected. "I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone," the uncle said, his eyes fixed on the empty soil. 50 years ago, I stood exactly where you're standing now, and I made a choice that haunted me for decades. Amir leaned forward. His uncle had never spoken like this before. "What choice?" Amir asked. The old man reached into his weathered pocket and pulled out 2 small cloth bags. In the fading light, they seemed to glow. "These seeds," he whispered, "they're not what they appear to be. Not ordinary seeds." Amir laughed nervously. "Uncle, are you feeling well?" But the old man's face remained deadly serious. "Listen carefully, because I will only explain this once. These seeds will show you a truth about yourself, a truth you've been running from your entire life." He opened the first bag. Inside was a seed that seemed to shimmer with possibility. "This is the ambition seed. Plant it, water it every single day without fail. It will grow into something magnificent, a tree that bears fruit, provides shade, and brings wealth beyond measure." But there's a catch. What catch? Amir's curiosity was fully awakened now. "It will die if you miss even 3 days of care. It demands everything from you." The old man opened the second bag. This seed looked ordinary, almost disappointing. "And this?" Amir asked. His uncle's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "This is the laziness seed. It needs nothing from you. No water, no attention, no effort. It will grow on its own, faster than anything you've ever seen. But what it grows will consume everything else in your field, and eventually everything else in your life." Amir stared at the seeds, his heart beating faster. "Why are you giving me both?" "Because," his uncle said, turning to leave, "you already have both growing inside you. These seeds will simply show you which one you're truly feeding." That night, Amir couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the seeds sitting on his table. Magic seeds? It sounds ridiculous, he thought. Uncle must be getting old. But something in his uncle's eyes had been real. That haunted look, that regret. When morning came, Amir held both seeds in his palm. Of course, he would plant the ambition seed. Who wouldn't? Success, wealth, respect, everything he'd always wanted. He walked to his field, found a good spot, and began to dig. Then he stopped. What if the magic is fake? What if I waste weeks watering nothing? The sun was already getting hot. His bed was comfortable. He could start tomorrow when he felt more energized. Tomorrow, he said aloud, putting the seeds back in his pocket. But tomorrow became next week. And next week became when I have time. Until one day, out of pure boredom and curiosity, Amir made a decision that would change everything. He planted both seeds. "Let's see what happens," he muttered. "If they're really magic, they'll grow without much help anyway, right?" 3 weeks passed like water through fingers. Amir fell back into his comfortable routine, sleeping late, sitting in the shade, talking about his grand future plans. The seeds became a distant memory, buried not just in soil, but in the back of his mind. His friends noticed nothing different. The village noticed nothing different. Even Amir noticed nothing different. But in his field, something was happening. Something was growing in the darkness, spreading its roots, preparing to emerge. When the first green shoots appeared, Amir wasn't even there to see them. On the morning of the 30th day, Amir decided to check on the seeds, mainly because his uncle would probably ask about them soon. What he saw made his blood run cold. The field was covered. Thick, twisted weeds had spread across every inch of soil, their vines strangling everything in their path. They grew in unnatural patterns, almost as if they were alive and hunting. This was the laziness seed. No, 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 Amir whispered, running into the field. He searched frantically for the other seed, the ambition seed. Finally, he found it. It was barely alive, a tiny, withered sprout, yellow and dying, choked by the weeds surrounding it. While Amir had slept and dreamed, laziness had grown wild and ambition had nearly died. Amir fell to his knees. The metaphor hit him like a physical blow. This is my life. This is what I've done to myself. Amir's uncle appeared at the field's edge as if summoned by the moment itself. He said nothing at first. He simply looked at the chaos of weeds, at the dying ambition sprout, and at his nephew kneeling in the dirt. Now you see, the old man finally said. Now you understand what I tried to tell you 50 years ago when someone gave these same seeds to me. Amir looked up, tears streaming down his face. You? This happened to you too. The uncle nodded slowly. I was ambitious but lazy just like you. By the time I realized what I'd done, my laziness had taken over so much of my life that I spent decades fighting it. I'm giving you these seeds now because I want you to face this truth earlier than I did. But how? Amir's voice cracked. How did you fight it? His uncle knelt beside him, placing a weathered hand on the dying ambition sprout. One weed at a time, one day at a time, one action at a time. That's the only way. That night changed everything. Amir couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't stop thinking about the dying seed that represented everything he'd ever wanted to become. Before dawn broke, he was already in the field. The weeds fought back. Their roots had grown deep, tangled, resistant. Pulling them out bloodied his hands. His back screamed in pain. Sweat burned his eyes. Every part of him wanted to stop, to rest, to say, I'll do more tomorrow. But he'd seen what tomorrow had cost him. So he kept pulling. One weed, then another, then another. He found a bucket and filled it with water from the well. He poured it gently over the ambition seed, whispering, Please survive. Please grow. I'm here now. I'm finally here. The next morning, his body ached everywhere. Every muscle begged him to stay in bed. He got up anyway. He went to the field. He pulled more weeds. He watered the seed. The morning after that, the same. And the morning after that, the same. 7 days passed. The ambition seed began to straighten, its leaves turning from yellow to pale green. 30 days passed. The weeds stopped spreading. The field began to show patches of clear soil. 90 days passed. The ambition seed had become a small plant with strong stems and healthy leaves. The village noticed. Farmers who walked past Amir's field in the early morning saw him working. They saw the transformation, not just of the field, but of the man. Tomorrow disappeared from his vocabulary. Today became his only word. 1 year passed. The plant became a young tree. 3 years passed. The tree stood tall and strong, its branches heavy with golden fruit. Its shade covered half the field. Its roots had made the soil even richer. Amir stood beneath it one evening, his hands rough with calluses, his back strong from labor, his eyes clear with purpose. He wasn't the man who had planted those seeds. He was the man who had chosen which seed to feed. Years later, when young people came to Amir asking for advice, he would always take them to his field. He'd show them the great tree, its branches laden with fruit. Then he'd show them a small corner of the field where he kept a single weed preserved in a glass case. "I keep this," he'd say, "to remind myself that laziness never truly dies. It's always waiting, always ready to grow back if I stop being vigilant." "But how did you change?" they'd ask. "How did you go from lazy to disciplined?" Amir would smile, remembering that terrible morning when he'd seen what his laziness had created. "I didn't change all at once," he'd say. "I just made a different choice one morning. Then I made the same choice the next morning, and the next. Eventually, those choices became who I am." He'd pause, letting the lesson sink in. The truth is, we all carry both seeds inside us, ambition and laziness. Every single day, you're watering one of them. The question isn't whether you have ambition. The question is, which seed are you feeding today? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this so we can see next time. The moral isn't just about working hard. It's about understanding that your dreams aren't destroyed by one bad day. They're destroyed by 1,000 tomorrows that never come. Which seed are you watering today?